city of lights and extravagant dreams, where their love once soared but where the first cracks also began to appear.
By all accounts, Christian Obumseli and Courtney Tailor have had a very violent and toxic relationship. Police were called to their luxury apartment on multiple occasions.
An unexpected altercation turned everything upside down.
Video from an elevator shows Courtney hitting Christian repeatedly. And another cell phone video, abusive behavior on vacation.
What could have driven a social media star to lose control? And could that have been the first sign of a tragedy? Courtney Tailor was born on April 21, 1996, the daughter of Kim and Deborah Clenny, and has an older sister named Morgan. Her father worked as a financial advisor, while her mother was a sports enthusiast, and together they provided their daughters with a comfortable upbringing that encouraged physical activity. From a young age, Courtney showed exceptional athletic ability, participating in soccer, volleyball, gymnastics, diving, and horseback riding. She also studied theater and dance starting at age 13, revealing her natural performing talent. When she entered high school, her passion shifted strongly toward fitness, and soon after, Courtney became a certified personal trainer, earning recognition in several bodybuilding competitions across Texas. Realizing that the traditional college path wasn't right for her, she decided to drop out and pursue her passion for fitness and social media. Under the name Courtney Tailor, she quickly became a prominent figure on Instagram and YouTube, attracting millions of followers with her confident personality, athletic physique, and motivational fitness content. Her career continued to rise as she partnered with major sports brands, appeared in renowned magazines such as Playboy, and became a recognized influencer in the American fitness community. In 2016, she joined the OnlyFans platform, where she achieved remarkable success, earning more than $3 million in 3 years, with nearly $1.8 million in revenue in 2021 alone. By the age of 25, Courtney seemed to have it all: fame, fortune, a thriving career, and a supportive family. Yet beneath the spotlight and admiration, there was an emptiness she couldn't fill: the longing for love. And in 2020, at the height of her success, fate led her to meet the man who would change her life forever. At the height of her career, and the most radiant point in her life, Courtney met a man who captivated her from the very first moment: Christian Obumseli. Born in 1994, he grew up in a Nigerian-American family that had settled in Texas. Christian graduated from the University of Texas with a degree in economics and soon entered the world of cryptocurrency, where friends described him as intelligent, ambitious, and forward-thinking. He quickly recognized the potential of financial markets and began investing in stocks at a young age. When cryptocurrency started to rise, he seized the opportunity and combined both areas, crypto and stocks, to build a solid financial foundation with the goal of creating a stable future. To Courtney, he wasn't just successful but also knowledgeable, mature, and deeply charismatic. And to Christian, Courtney embodied the modern woman: strong, confident, and alluring. Their connection was instant and intense, as if each had found the missing piece of themselves. Within just a few weeks, they became inseparable, sharing moments of joy, work, and big dreams for the future. The beginning of what many would call a passionate and consuming love story. By 2021, Courtney and Christian had moved in together in Austin, Texas, and to the outside world, they appeared to be the picture of a perfect couple. young, successful, and living the kind of life many could only dream of. Courtney's social media remained filled with radiant images of happiness, while Christian often appeared beside her with a proud smile. Yet behind those glowing photos, the first cracks in their relationship began to form. In July 2021, during a vacation in Las Vegas, Nevada, a dazzling city where people come to escape reality, their conflicts erupted. They were staying at the Cosmopolitan, a luxurious hotel in the heart of Las Vegas known for attracting the elite. But inside that brightly lit room, there was no longer any trace of romance, only tension and anger. According to police records, in the early hours of the morning, around 5 a.m., during a moment of lost control, Courtney hurled a glass cup at her boyfriend, startling guests and hotel staff nearby. Security quickly responded and contacted the police to handle the situation.
What's going on today?
Things got blown out of proportion, like to the max.
Have you ever been cited or arrested before?
Yes.
For what?
DUI.
So, why am I here? What's going on?
My boyfriend and I just got into like a loud argument.
So you called once again for what? Why did you call for help?
Because we were getting really loud. We were getting loud. And I was like, oh my God, we're gonna like do damage to the room or something. Not damage to each other. Like I really want to like.
But why would you think?
Like that.
Why would you think that you were gonna do damage to the room?
I like throwing something or like.
Did you throw something?
Did I?
Yeah.
No.
Did anybody throw anything?
No.
So why would you think that there is damage to the room to be made?
Because I've done that before in our house, and I.
What have you done?
Thrown a glass at him, plate.
Did you throw a glass or a plate at him today?
No.
Okay. So if
No, this is before.
Okay, so when I go to the room and I see a broken glass on the floor, where did the glass come from?
I don't know. I literally couldn't even remember how the fight started.
Okay, well.
Was there?
Yeah.
Maybe I did.
Okay.
I'm being completely honest with you. I feel like my brain is scrambled eggs right now.
Did anybody punch, hit, spit, throw anything at each other? Did he hit you or you did at him?
Well, I'm guessing that I threw a glass, but that sounds like me. So. Oh, by the way, I just want to say, somebody mentioned earlier about there being a chair on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
That was there. I don't know why we hadn't picked it up. That had nothing to do with a fight. We weren't throwing furniture at each other.
After the incident in Las Vegas, Courtney was detained overnight for about 12 hours while police completed the necessary procedures. Although the situation could have ended much worse, Christian Obumseli refused to press charges and even pleaded with officers to release Courtney. His love for her seemed to blur the line between forgiveness and self-destruction. During her interactions with authorities, Courtney changed her statement, claiming that she was the one who had called the police, a way to control the narrative and avoid further embarrassment in the public eye. Records later revealed that Courtney had previously admitted to throwing glasses, plates, and other household items at Toby during their arguments. Despite the growing signs of instability in their relationship, the couple decided to give things another chance and leave Texas to start a new chapter together. Toby dreamed of moving to London to advance his career, but Courtney wanted to relocate to Miami, and as in many previous situations, she was the one who made the final decision. In truth, both were drawn to the allure of the Magic City. Miami, Florida, with its turquoise beaches, vibrant nightlife, and warm tropical atmosphere all year round. For young, affluent people who craved luxury and excitement, this city seemed like paradise. In January 2022, Courtney and Toby officially left Austin, Texas, traveling more than 1,100 miles southeast to start a new life in Miami, Florida. At that time, Courtney's career was flourishing. Her income from social media and the OnlyFans platform afforded her a life of luxury, clearly reflected in their new home. The couple settled into apartment 2201 in the upscale One Paraíso Tower, located at 3131 Northeast 7th Avenue in the Edgewater district, less than a mile from downtown Miami. The apartment featured 3 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, and a panoramic view overlooking the stunning Biscayne Bay, where the Florida sunlight shimmered across the water like gold. Naturally, such luxury came at a price, around $10,000 a month, a cost that Courtney proudly claimed she paid entirely on her own. Friends later recalled that she often told Toby he should remember his place, since everything in the home was under her name. Ironically, it was at the moment when she seemed to have everything that Courtney began to lose control. After moving to Miami, her behavior grew increasingly erratic. She was frequently seen at bars, attending parties that lasted through the night, and wasn't afraid to display her temper in public. During an appearance on the We in Miami podcast, Courtney openly admitted to being toxic, saying she hated being told what to do, liked to stay in control, and preferred to date successful black men.
Do you like to be fully controlled, or do you?
I like to be submissive. Yeah, in the bedroom.
Yes.
But like in my life, I don't like anybody to tell me what to do.
Yeah, so you only want him to tell you what to do in the bedroom. Other than that, you don't want him to tell you anything.
Right. That's exactly it. Yes.
So that sounds like you're a control freak with your relationships. Be careful with this one. She's gonna boss you around like
exactly. Sweet toxicity.
Tell me.
So you only date rich black guys. So like, have you ever dated like any politicians or only like rappers or athletes, or what kind of rich black guys?
You know, dabble here, dabble there, a little bit.
How much do you make them off?
A lot.
Yeah, we make good money.
At that time, Courtney had almost completely lost control of herself, becoming a constant source of worry for Toby, both physically and emotionally. She would explode over the smallest things, and whenever anger took over, the atmosphere in their luxurious apartment turned into a battlefield of shouting and impulsive behavior. During their trips together, she often lost her temper to the point of damaging property, leaving friends deeply concerned. In Miami, after one particularly heated argument, Courtney threw all of Toby's belongings into the hallway and demanded that he leave the apartment, even though she had once begged him to move in with her. But then, in a familiar cycle, once her anger subsided, she tried to make amends with lavish gifts. On one occasion, Courtney bought Toby a complete set of Louis Vuitton luggage worth more than $10,000, calling it her way of making up for what she had done. For Toby, love seemed to soften every mistake she made. And then, not long after, a surveillance video from an elevator, one that quickly spread across the internet, revealed the true nature of their relationship. In that footage, Courtney was the aggressor, repeatedly shoving and hitting Toby while he only tried to keep his distance, raising his hands in an attempt to stop her and de-escalate the situation. The images shocked the public, as they completely contradicted the happy couple image the two had long displayed on social media. Text messages and audio recordings later recovered from Toby's own phone revealed how much he had suffered in silence under Courtney's unpredictable behavior. Still, he chose to remain quiet and continued to protect her, even when questioned by police or friends. No one knew whether his protection came from blind love or from fear that if he fought back, he would be seen as the one at fault. In reality, Toby always stood by Courtney, even when he was the one being hurt. For months, he saved hundreds of text messages, letters, and audio clips that showed the depth of his feelings for her. In one letter, Toby wrote, "You are the sweetest yet most complicated woman I've ever known. but I would never trade you for anything. I want to be everything in your life. Your friend, your soulmate, your life partner, and the one you can trust with your whole heart. In another letter, he confessed, I believe dreams do come true, and I want you to be part of that journey. You're the only person who can help me stand strong through my hardest days. In that same letter, Toby mentioned a sunset evening in Austin in November 2021, when he read a poem he had written for Courtney and was moved to tears as he did. By March 2022, Courtney and Toby's relationship had reached its darkest point, crossing a line from which there was no return. Although they had lived in their Miami apartment for only about 2 months, police had already been called there twice, along with more than 12 prior calls related to their ongoing arguments and conflicts. Neighbors had grown accustomed to the sound of shouting, and on several occasions, they reported the disturbances to the building's management out of fear that things might escalate further. In recent weeks, Courtney's behavior had become increasingly volatile, at times overtly threatening. She often shouted at Toby to leave the apartment whenever they argued and didn't hesitate to use harsh, belittling words against him. Legally, because Toby had been living in the apartment full-time for several months, Courtney couldn't simply force him to leave. That only fueled her anger further, and in her attempt to regain control, she began finding ways to pressure him into moving out. During the final week of March, Courtney invited her mother to Miami, claiming she needed emotional support, though her real intent was to have help pushing Toby out of the apartment. Her mother's presence only made the atmosphere more tense. Around the end of that week, Courtney officially announced their breakup. 6 days later, Toby was forced to sleep on a small sofa in the private lobby area of the apartment, a narrow corridor between the elevator and the living room that Courtney often called the elevator room. He lived in makeshift conditions, in the same luxury apartment that had once been their home. On April 1st, 2022, Courtney's mother left Miami, leaving her daughter and Toby alone in the apartment to resolve things on their own. But things were far from peaceful. Only 1 day after her mother left Miami, tensions between the two flared up again. On the evening of April 2nd, 2022, the front desk staff at the One Paraiso building had to call the police after witnessing a heated argument between Courtney Tailor and Christian Toby Obumseli in the lobby area. At first, Courtney appeared panicked, repeatedly pleading with the staff not to contact the police. That desperate request was later confirmed by footage from a body-worn camera, showing her frantically trying to stop them from reporting the incident. However, the moment the police arrived, her demeanor changed completely, from fearful to confident, speaking as if she were the one who had called for help. During the exchange, she appeared disoriented, frequently interrupting officers, rambling, and displaying clear emotional instability. Courtney insisted she wanted to file a restraining order against Toby, emphasizing that she needed to do so before he had the chance to file one himself. Yet her statements quickly conflicted with the accounts of the front desk staff and witnesses, who claimed it was Courtney who initiated the altercation and escalated the situation. The officers on scene observed that Toby remained calm throughout, while Courtney's tone swung erratically between tears, anger, and forced composure.
Can you please let me into my apartment? Please?
Okay.
Yes.
Excuse me, hold on. What's going on?
Okay.
Where's your apartment? You have a key?
We have
Ma'am, you don't need to talk to me. What's
He's
going on?
lying about that.
Where's your key?
I'm in my apartment.
You didn't call.
I didn't. Nobody.
I called. You called.
What?
Okay.
But
What's
on
going on?
him-
Okay, hold on,
on
ma'am.
him-
Let him talk.
Okay.
Ma'am, hold on.
Okay.
Go ahead.
The front desk personnel, this young lady, I was actually, with the other guy. She informed us that Miss Courtney, her boyfriend, was trying to get into the elevator with her, but she had her hands out like this. Okay. And she had her hands out like this, and she was like, "Oh no, don't come inside the elevator." Okay. So we asked her. I said, "Do you want him to leave the property?" She said no. She don't want him to.
I did not say that. I said yes.
Hold on.
No, but the
Hold on. He's talking, then you talk. Let him speak. Let him speak.
You get your turn. You get your turn.
We were quiet when you were speaking. Why not?
I say, "Are you certain for sure? Do you want him to leave?" "Oh no." And then I just said, enough is enough. Police need to be called. She said she don't want police to be called. Okay.
Okay, but you
Time
told me I was
out. Time out. Let me talk. Okay.
I feel very
What's your name? Courtney?
Yes.
Okay, Courtney.
Why do you have something against me, man? I'm just trying to are you gonna listen to me?
We're listening. Go
Did you
ahead.
say something wrong?
Yes.
Courtney, what's going on? What do you need? What?
My boyfriend. He hasn't been any I don't care. I'll hold it down. This guy said I shoved her. When I was upstairs and they showed up on my door, I said I shoved him. I said, show me the fucking video. I really got angry because that did not happen. All I did was take my dogs down.
All right. So what do you want to say?
I want a restraining order against Christian Obumseli.
We don't issue those.
Because, no, I'm serious.
Court.
Can I do that? Where
You have
can
to go
I
to court. You have to go to
Okay, but
downtown.
how
or
can
get
I make
petition.
myself first?
Who's on the phone with you?
Just my dad.
Okay. Well, let me
Which I think is
let
reasonable.
me explain to you something with your dad on the phone, so you could hear me. You asked me, how can I get a restraining order against him? I answer you, we don't issue those. That's through court. You asked me, I need to get one before him. I told you, the only way is for you to get to court. Then you asked me, is he on the way already? And I asked you, I don't even know how he looks like. You understand? It's your questions that are making much of an.
I am.
Listen to me. Answer my questions, please. Does he have property in the room in the apartment with you? A lot of property, you said. He's been with you here for about 2 months, right? Has he on and off, or is he staying with you?
For 2 months every day.
Staying with you for 2 months here with you? Okay.
Except for last week, he wasn't.
Okay. Let me let you know something. He lives here. That person lives in that apartment with you. Okay. We cannot trespass anybody that lives in this place. So we can by law we cannot do this.
And that's I do understand that, and that is why I said, can I get a restraining order and get there first?
Listen, my answer was I already answered that. You got it. Just go to the court.
Just stop. They're stalking me.
By this point, the relationship between Courtney Tailor Clenny and Christian Toby Obumseli was no longer a secret to anyone in the One Paraíso building. Security staff, neighbors, and even local police knew they were living in a volatile relationship, one where love had slowly been replaced by control, jealousy, and constant conflict. On the night of April 2nd, 2022, after the intense argument that required police intervention, everyone believed it would mark the end of their turbulent relationship. But according to Courtney's account, just a few hours later, they reconciled and continued living together, a fateful decision that no one realized would set the stage for tragedy. The next morning, on April 3rd, 2022, the Miami sky was covered with gray clouds, and a heavy stillness hung over the Edgewater neighborhood like an ominous warning. Apartment 2201, inside the luxurious One Paraíso tower, seemed quiet as usual, but by early afternoon, neighbors began hearing strange noises, muffled arguments, followed by the sound of objects hitting surfaces. A few people paused to listen, unaware that inside, a serious altercation was unfolding. And then, at exactly 4:57 p.m., the 911 emergency center received a call. On the other end of the line, a woman's voice trembled, breaking with panic and fear.
Please. 3101. It's 130, so 130. Ma'am, listen to me. You need to stop screaming on the line and give me the address.
I can't feel my arm.
3101.
I can't feel my arm.
Ma'am, so my boyfriend is dying of a stabbing. Ma'am, what is the address?
What's the address? 3131.
3131 Northeast 7th Ave. Please, God, please. Come see my boyfriend. Is this a house, apartment, or a business?
Baby, I'm so sorry, baby.
Ma'am, can you hear me?
Just minutes after the emergency call, police officers and paramedics were dispatched to 3131 Northeast 7th Avenue, the One Paraiso Tower, where Courtney Tailor Clenny lived. When they entered apartment 2201, they were met with a haunting scene of chaos. Christian Obumseli lay motionless on the floor with a deep wound to his chest, caused by a sharp object, while his clothes and the surrounding floor were marked with red traces. In the recording of the 911 call, Toby's faint, desperate voice could be heard as he whispered to Courtney that he could no longer feel his arm and feared he wouldn't survive. Courtney, visibly in shock, was seen holding Toby tightly, her trembling hands pressing against his wound in a frantic attempt to stop the bleeding. When rescue personnel arrived, they immediately began life-saving measures and rushed Toby to the nearest hospital, but his condition was already critically severe. As police examined the scene, they found multiple dried biological traces, indicating that Toby had likely lost a significant amount of blood before the call was even made. Red smears stretched from the kitchen island through the master bedroom, the bathroom, and into the living room area.
Get up! Get up right now! You can get up right now!
Why you have to keep him upright? I just want to keep him
Get up
upright.
right now! Mommy, listen, get up right now!
Baby, wake up, wake up. Wake up.
What's your name, Courtney?
Courtney. Just keep him sitting upright. Leave.
Courtney, listen to me. Get up. Get up, come on. You gotta get the dogs in.
Okay.
Get up.
Please go. Please.
Listen. Get him up. Get up right now. You can drop him on the floor. I'll help him out. Get up.
Oh, no.
Get up.
No, I can't.
Get up.
I can't let this. Okay.
Hands back.
Wait, it wasn't me. Guys,
Relax.
Why? No, guys.
Relax.
Boss, what's going on? Hey, you good? What do you have?
Relax.
I'm gonna help you.
What's his name?
Daddy will be back.
What's his name?
What is his name? Christian Obumseli.
What's his name?
Christian Obumseli.
Christian.
Obumseli, please.
Listen, sit down. Do me a favor, sit down. Do not
Why are
move.
you yelling at me?
Do not move.
Why are you yelling at me?
Do not move, sit down.
Okay, but
we don't know what's going on. We don't know what happened.
I'm terrified
So
for him.
right now, yeah, don't worry. They're helping him. So just sit down. Don't move, okay?
Toby was rushed to the hospital in critical condition as doctors and medical staff fought against time to save his life. The massive loss of blood made every second a desperate struggle. Meanwhile, Courtney Tailor Clenny was separated from the scene by police and taken to headquarters for questioning. She quickly admitted that she was the one who had caused Toby's injury with a sharp object, and as a result, an interrogation was conducted that very night. What surprised investigators was that Courtney agreed to cooperate fully and answered every question without having a lawyer present, a highly unusual decision for such a serious case. The interview lasted more than 4 hours and was entirely recorded on video. Throughout the session, Courtney rambled, evaded direct answers, and struggled to stay composed when confronted with difficult questions. Some of her statements, frankly speaking, were deeply disturbing to hear,
Thank you. Inside the interrogation room with Courtney Tailor. She's the OnlyFans model accused of stabbing her boyfriend to death in their Edgewater high-rise back in April. A video taking place just hours after the deadly incident. NBC's Alyssa Hyman has been listening to that video all day. So, Alyssa, what were you able to find out?
Well, Jawan, this is the first time we are hearing from Courtney Tailor herself tell her version of what happened that day leading up to her boyfriend's death.
My apologies for being absolutely covered in blood.
After some basic background questions, detectives read her rights, and they begin to discuss what happened in their Edgewater high-rise. Tailor told detectives she and Obumseli got into an argument that escalated, saying Obumseli had his hands around her throat.
I mean, I said, like, choking me on the floor. It's just like, they were looking at my neck, and I was like, I mean, I'm not saying, like, choking me, like, you know, whatever. But I mean, it had my, like, neck. Like, and this happened twice before, where I couldn't breathe, and I was on the floor. I could not breathe.
She said he eventually let her get up, and she gets her phone to call her mom. Detectives then ask about the knife.
I grabbed a knife, and I said, don't come anywhere closer to me. I had absolutely no intention of using it. I'm on the phone with my mom, and he's coming at me like he's going to grab either the phone or, like, the knife or something. And so I was just like, I was like, don't come any closer. It's coming at me, and I threw it.
According to Courtney Tailor-Clenny's statement, the morning after police had left, she and Christian Obumseli had made up and started the day in what seemed like a calm atmosphere. She said they had breakfast together, spoke gently, and tried to avoid bringing up the tension from the night before. Around 1:15 p.m., Toby decided to go for a walk around the Edgewater neighborhood to clear his mind and ease the stress. Courtney said she stayed home, spending most of the afternoon talking on the phone with her mother, cleaning, and doing laundry. At 4:01 p.m., she opened YouTube and watched a video about a true crime documentary, then began a live stream on Instagram for about 30 minutes, ending at 4:33 p.m., the exact time Toby returned to the apartment carrying a Subway sandwich. However, what seemed like an ordinary moment quickly turned into an emotional storm. Courtney claimed she suddenly became upset when she realized Toby had stopped sharing his live location on his phone, which she interpreted as a sign of dishonesty. To her, it was a suspicious act that made her feel out of control and betrayed. The argument began with her questioning him, then escalated as Toby tried to explain that he simply wanted a little privacy. Trying to ease the tension, Toby immediately shared his location with Courtney again, but when he asked her to do the same, she refused outright. The argument between them escalated further after Courtney refused to share her location. The exchange grew heated, and the tension that had been building inside apartment 2201 for days suddenly erupted. According to Courtney Tailor-Clenny's account, which, to this day, remains only her version of events, Toby allegedly grabbed her by the collar and pushed her to the floor in a moment of anger. She said she panicked and quickly called her mother for help, but that call only made Toby angrier. Courtney claimed he began moving quickly toward her while she backed away into the kitchen. There, in what she described as a moment of sheer fear, Courtney said she grabbed a sharp object from the counter and shouted, "Don't come any closer!" However, according to her, Toby kept advancing despite the warning. In a split second of panic, when the distance between them was about 10 feet, Courtney said she threw the sharp object toward him, never thinking that the action could cause such a severe injury.
So you grabbed a knife? Because I grabbed a knife. I grabbed a knife and I said, like, pretty much just like, don't get any close to me. And then came with me, said something, came with me. And then I just threw it. And I really
How exactly did you throw it? Did you just throw like that?
How many times?
No, how exactly did you throw it? Like you threw it like this, or kind of like flung it at him, overhead, or how did that?
Oh, I just flung it.
You just flung it? over your head or from
like this.
Okay.
So
from like beside your head.
Holding it, yeah. So not like, okay, like I'm holding it like this. This is not the knife, the
blade to it?
Right, the blade. I for dang sure did not stab him. That would be insane. I mean, I didn't even think that this would touch him.
What happened next raised a series of troubling questions for investigators. According to official reports, instead of immediately dialing 911 for emergency assistance, Courtney chose to call her mother first. And if her own statement is accurate, that conversation lasted 13 minutes, a critical span of time while Toby was suffering from severe blood loss. This delay led investigators to believe that had Courtney sought help right away, Toby's chances of survival might have been significantly higher. Throughout her interrogation, Courtney repeatedly claimed that she hadn't had the chance to think through her story yet. A statement that puzzled detectives, since one shouldn't need to think before recounting what truly happened. The inconsistencies in her account, from the delay in calling for help to her illogical explanations, only made the picture of that afternoon more tangled, fueling suspicions that she was trying to control the narrative rather than be honest about what really occurred inside apartment 2201.
If I could have been given all these questions, I could be like, maybe let me think about it. Or when I'm trying to remember a whole situation of where I was very upset about something, which I've learned this in therapy and whatever, it's write down all the details so you don't forget. Just write it all out clearly so it makes sense to you and makes sense to somebody else. But I haven't had a chance to have a pen and paper or my phone to write down exactly what happened. And I haven't really even fully thought about it. So honestly, my answer is I don't remember.
Not only were there inconsistencies in her statements about when she called for help, but Courtney also made several remarks that left investigators perplexed. She insisted that the police had no valid reason to be present at the One Paraíso building on the night of April 2nd, 2022, and accused the front desk staff of deliberately exaggerating the situation to cause trouble for her.
But that just didn't happen. So it was he moved from Christian to me. It seemed like he just wanted to cause trouble.
Yeah.
So the police were involved yesterday when there shouldn't have been.
Everything Courtney displayed in front of investigators pointed to a pattern of contradictions and unsettling dishonesty. At first, she had begged the front desk staff not to call the police, likely because she knew she was the one who initiated the confrontation. Yet when officers arrived, her demeanor changed instantly. She began speaking as if she had been the one to call for legal protection and claimed she needed help against Toby. Just 24 hours later, sitting in the interrogation room, Courtney tried to downplay the gravity of the situation, even appearing indifferent, as if everything had been just a minor misunderstanding. Investigators quickly realized this wasn't the first time she had altered her story. In records from the earlier Las Vegas incident, she had shown the same behavior, denying, rationalizing, and then reshaping the narrative to favor herself. What stood out even more was that, in the middle of her interview at the Miami police station, Courtney actually turned to the detectives and asked whether what she had done to Toby could be considered justified.
I don't not think that this was. I don't know. I really don't know if this is justified at all. I actually don't know. I really don't know, because I know I was scared, but I really don't know.
About 2 hours after the interrogation ended, the devastating news was officially confirmed. Christian Toby Obumseli had not survived. He took his final breath at around 5 p.m. in the hospital after doctors fought tirelessly to treat the severe wound to his chest. It was a heartbreaking end to days filled with tension, conflict, and pain between two people who had once been deeply in love.
So We have to inform you that Christian did not make it. Okay. Unfortunately, the doctors did what they could. And
Christian is dead.
Yes.
Oh my God. This is not real, right? Okay. No, there's no fucking way. Christian died? Can I please have a hug? Am I allowed to do that in here?
Sure. Yeah.
Relax. No. 30 seconds.
Calm down. Just take deep breaths.
I've been crying so much.
Don't.
And I just can't even cry right now.
Just take deep breaths. It's a shock.
When the tragic news spread, Christian Obumseli's friends and family were completely shattered. The tragedy came so suddenly, so quickly, that those who loved him could hardly believe it was real. In just one chaotic moment, the kind, intelligent, and ambitious young man was gone forever, leaving behind an emptiness that nothing could ever fill.
Devastation doesn't quite describe what my family is experiencing right now. Yesterday, we finally told our 93-year-old grandmother that her grandson, who was expected to come home to Texas to visit for his 28th birthday, will no longer or ever be returning home. We have not had an opportunity to even start to grieve the loss of our family, of our brother, cousin, son.
Now, Clenny's attorney, Frank Prieto, sent our station this statement saying here, clearly, none of this was intended, and Courtney is struggling mentally with the aftermath of what occurred that evening. This is a tragedy for all involved, but it was not criminal conduct. Courtney was defending herself, and the investigation will reveal exactly that. Now, at this point, still no charges have been filed in this case. We will continue to follow that for you.
The Obumseli family's grief had barely begun to settle when a wave of suspicion quickly emerged. As soon as the name Courtney Tailor Clenny became linked to the circumstances surrounding Christian Obumseli's death, the public began asking countless questions. What really happened inside that luxurious apartment? And was the story Courtney told truly the whole truth? After the news broke, Courtney voluntarily entered a psychiatric facility for evaluation under Florida's Baker Act, a law that allows emergency intervention for individuals showing signs of a mental health crisis. However, less than 2 days later, she was released and returned to her normal life. What angered many was the way authorities initially handled the case. In less than 24 hours after completing the scene report, investigators concluded that it was a domestic dispute that led to an act of self-defense, allowing Courtney to walk free. Toby's family was devastated by the news, convinced that there were still too many unanswered questions. From that moment, heated debates erupted over privilege and bias in the justice system, as many questioned whether Courtney's status as a young, wealthy, and famous white woman had influenced how the case was handled. While public outrage continued to grow, Courtney quickly slipped back into her old habits, including drinking with her father, as if she were trying to escape the weight of what had just happened.
Yeah, and they're seeking justice.
Typing, sir.
Yeah,
What?
let's all videotape her. Right now, you should go. Yeah, you should go. Because you just killed her boyfriend. Yeah, you did. Yeah, and yeah. Yeah, okay, cool.
After the death of Christian Obumseli, Courtney Tailor Clenny's legal team moved quickly. They told police that Courtney had acted purely in self-defense, claiming she had been threatened by Toby and was forced to react to protect herself. During the process, her attorneys even implied that Toby was responsible for his own fate, a statement that outraged many. Believing Courtney's version of events and what they considered preliminary evidence, investigators allowed her to leave as a free woman, without facing any restrictions or further questioning. However, behind the scenes, Toby's family and friends refused to accept that conclusion. They immediately sought an independent attorney who, after a brief review, determined that this was far from a simple case of self-defense. It was a toxic relationship marked by control, conflict, and emotional turmoil, in which Toby appeared to be the true victim. Still, gathering enough evidence to overturn the initial ruling proved to be a long, difficult process requiring time, resources, and persistence. While the Obumseli family had to launch a GoFundMe campaign to cover funeral and legal expenses, Courtney left Miami and returned to Texas to be with her family. In stark contrast to the grief on the other side, she continued to live comfortably off the money she earned from social media platforms. Just 2 months later, in June 2022, Courtney spent approximately $1.4 million on a luxurious home near her parents' residence in Texas. The hillside home in Lake Point that Courtney purchased was a 3,000-square-foot property featuring 4 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, a hot tub, and 3 large deck areas. Not stopping there, she also transferred $1.2 million into her father's bank account to, in her words, further protect her assets. While the public continued to debate whether this was a case of self-defense or a deliberate act that led to tragedy, it was undeniable that the incident had left a deep psychological impact on Courtney. Records indicated that she already had a habit of drinking frequently, but after Toby's death, her condition worsened. Her family stated that she fell into an emotional crisis, becoming irritable, sleepless, and increasingly dependent on alcohol. Shortly afterward, Courtney was admitted to a treatment center in Hawaii, where she stayed for several weeks to undergo an alcohol rehabilitation and PTSD therapy program. While Courtney Tailor spent her time shopping, partying, and failing to recover after her treatment in Hawaii, a legal storm was quietly forming. On August 10, 2022, she was arrested on a second-degree felony charge in connection with the death of Christian Toby Obumseli. Prosecutors explained that the delay occurred because they had only one chance to convince the jury and needed to gather sufficient evidence before filing charges. When the arrest warrant was issued, the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office released video footage and documents showing that the evidence was complete, enough to charge Courtney and completely overturn the initial direction of the investigation. Among the most critical pieces of evidence presented by prosecutors was the elevator surveillance video showing Courtney Tailor as the aggressor, physically attacking Christian Toby Obumseli while he merely tried to push her away to avoid conflict. In addition, investigators recovered more than 12,000 text messages, audio recordings, and voice notes between the two, revealing a recurring pattern of behavior, one in which Courtney often initiated arguments, and Toby consistently tried to calm things down. Prosecutors also highlighted Courtney's history of domestic violence, including the Las Vegas incident in July 2021 and several other reports describing her volatile temperament. Some acquaintances even revealed that, before meeting Toby, Courtney had physically harmed a previous boyfriend and had been accused of attacking professional bodybuilder Sean Roden in February 2017, causing him significant injuries. Although that incident was never made public, many in the fitness community were aware of it. Friends of both Courtney and Toby confirmed that she was frequently the one to provoke conflicts, while he was almost always the one who backed down or tried to reconcile. However, the most damning evidence came from the medical examiner's report. Toby's fatal wound could not have been caused by a sharp object thrown from a distance of 10 feet, as Courtney had claimed. With a depth of approximately 3 inches, a downward trajectory, and clear indications of close-range force, the findings showed that it was a direct stab, completely contradicting the story Courtney told the police.
Based on the information you received that the defendant was alleged to have thrown this knife, do your observations support that?
I'm not an expert in knife throwing. If the person who supposedly did this is an expert knife thrower, and the knife is the type of knife that you can throw, I guess that could have happened.
Did you receive any information that the defendant was a knife thrower?
No.
So based on that fact that you did not receive that information, would it support that?
No.
And what would you expect to see a knife do if someone just flung it at somebody?
Throw it the way a knife thrower throws it?
No, someone that's not a knife thrower.
It would just hit the body and bounce off.
Now, as a result of this case, did you come to a cause, or did you make a determination as to the cause and manner of death?
Yes.
Could you please explain this report?
The cause of death was stab wound of right subclavian artery. The manner of death was homicide.
I have no further questions.
The forensic report concluded that Christian Toby Obumseli's wound was consistent with a deliberate, close-range stab delivered in a downward motion directly into his chest. The strike severed his subclavian artery, and tragically, the wound was located just a few inches from the tattoo of the name Courtney on Toby's chest, a detail that many found deeply haunting. Courtney continued to insist that she had acted in self-defense, claiming that Toby had grabbed her by the neck and pushed her to the ground before the incident occurred. However, police and hospital records showed that there were no visible injuries or signs of trauma on Courtney's body, completely contradicting her account. Once this information became public, the case immediately became a national media sensation, capturing the attention of the public and numerous legal experts. While authorities kept much of the evidence confidential, newly revealed materials soon changed the entire perception of the case. And this time, the crucial clue came from Toby himself. Among the secret recordings he had saved before his death, investigators found audio in which Courtney's angry voice could be heard confronting him over a brief conversation he had with another woman. The argument quickly escalated, and in a moment of rage, Courtney unleashed a series of harsh, racially charged insults.
So shut up and let me slap you, dumb. You're not gonna slap me. Give me my phone. You have your phone. You literally talked to her without telling me.
Courtney, I was on a bike ride and she passed me and I said hi. You and Courtney are having a live chat. My bad, I forgot to tell you that. That doesn't make you to act and call me a You're a Yes, thank you. Thank you.
I want you to get away from me.
In another audio recording found on Christian Toby Obumseli's phone, he captured a moment during one of their heated arguments in a hotel lobby. When Toby directly stated that Courtney Tailor had hit him, Courtney's voice immediately dropped to a whisper, and she quickly urged him to be quiet, as if she was trying to prevent anyone nearby from overhearing their conversation. That reaction revealed how Courtney constantly sought to control both the narrative and her public image, even in the midst of confrontation.
Decide whether or not you're done, Bethel.
I am mad. You told me to
decide right now.
Courtney, that's a threat. I asked you so many times that I don't know, and I apologize. But you hit me.
Shut the up.
After Courtney Tailor arrest and the release of the full body of evidence, her case quickly became one of the most closely watched trials in the United States at the time. From the very beginning, Courtney's defense team worked tirelessly to control the flow of information, filing motions to block the public release of evidence on the grounds that it could compromise the fairness of the trial. However, the court denied the request, ruling that the documents and videos carried public interest due to the case's seriousness. Undeterred, her attorneys later filed another motion seeking to exclude the secret recordings Toby had made before his death, hoping they would not be admitted as evidence. But once again, the judge firmly rejected the motion, emphasizing that the recordings clearly reflected the imbalance of power and controlling behavior displayed by Courtney, core elements in understanding the case. Courtney Clenny's trial was initially scheduled for 2023.
The OnlyFans model charged with murdering her boyfriend back in court today, the day after her parents faced felony charges for allegedly hacking into Christian Obumseli's laptop. Local 10 crime specialist Bridget Matter is live with what happened in court today. Bridget.
So in court today, we heard from the state. They asked a judge for a protective order, a gag order. The judge has not made a ruling on that just yet. That will come next week. And all of this comes after Courtney Clenny's parents were arrested in connection to the case. Courtney Clenny appeared in court today for a status hearing in her murder case. The former OnlyFans model is accused of stabbing her boyfriend Christian Obumseli to death in their luxury Miami apartment in 2022. The prosecution is seeking a gag order for the case to prevent information that will not be presented at trial from reaching the public. A docuseries by TMZ is set to be released sometime this month. Obumseli's family attorney says they denied requests to participate, but members of Clenny's legal team participated. Earlier this week, Clenny's parents, Kim and Deborah Clenny, were arrested, now facing felony charges of unauthorized access or excessive access to a computer. The charge is related to what prosecutors say was a laptop that belonged to Obumseli found at the murder scene. Courtney is also facing a new felony charge related to that device. While a trial date has not been set, prosecutors are working to build their case against Clenny and convince a future jury this was not self-defense, but second-degree murder. Local 10 obtained an incident report from the Travis County, Texas Sheriff's Office, which may be used in trial. The report says Clenny was drunk and asked an 18-year-old in her parents' Texas neighborhood to walk her home, but eventually became irate. The report says her mother told police she wasn't supposed to be drinking right now and apologized for her behavior. The run-in with police happened 2 months following Christian's death. Since Obumseli's death, troubling videos have surfaced showing a turbulent and abusive relationship. Video from an elevator shows Courtney hitting Christian repeatedly. And another cell phone video, abusive behavior on vacation. If convicted in Obumseli's murder, she faces up to life in prison. A trial date has not been set as of yet. As for Clenny's parents, they should be transported to Florida and arraigned sometime next week. We're live in Miami. Bridget Matter, Local 10 News.
Although the trial was initially postponed, it is expected to be rescheduled soon. And when that day comes, Courtney Tailor will face a grueling legal battle against the overwhelming body of evidence that prosecutors have spent more than a year building. While awaiting trial, her defense team filed a motion requesting conditional release, arguing that she had no intention of fleeing and was undergoing psychological treatment. However, the judge firmly denied the request, stating that there was a substantial probability that the defendant had intentionally caused the act, leading to Christian Toby Obumseli's death. The judge also noted that Courtney's access to large sums of money and significant assets posed a considerable flight risk. The final ruling: Courtney will remain in custody until the day she stands before the court to face justice, the public, and the consequences of the actions she has long tried to justify. Under Florida law, the maximum penalty for a second-degree felony is life imprisonment, with a minimum sentencing guideline of approximately 16 years and 9 months if convicted. This means that if the jury returns a guilty verdict, Courtney Tailor Clenny will face a severe sentence with virtually no chance of regaining her freedom. As she awaits trial, public attention has increasingly turned toward Courtney's personal life. Her father, who has been one of her most outspoken defenders throughout the investigation, recently admitted that he had no real knowledge of Courtney's activities on the OnlyFans platform until the incident occurred. But if that platform was her primary source of income and a major part of her lifestyle, one must wonder, did he truly know who his daughter was? Or was he simply seeing the version she wanted him to believe? In recent years, there have been several high-profile cases involving OnlyFans models and social media influencers, most of which have revealed the darker, more complex side of an industry where the line between fame, wealth, and self-destruction becomes dangerously thin. The tragedy of Christian Obumseli stands as a heartbreaking reminder of the devastating consequences of toxic relationships, where love is replaced by control and emotions are consumed by anger. Although the trial of Courtney Tailor is still pending, what has already happened is enough to make us reflect. Just one moment of lost control can destroy 2 lives, 2 families, and leave wounds that will never fully heal. This is not merely a story about fame or the dark side of social media glamour. It is a warning about the importance of respect, understanding, and emotional restraint in love. Thank you for watching today's story on True Crime Documentary. If you feel sympathy for Toby, please share this video, leave a comment in his memory, and don't forget to like and subscribe to True Crime Documentary so you won't miss upcoming cases, where we continue to uncover the truth and honor those who no longer have a voice. I'll see you in the next episode, where every story serves as a reminder of the value of life and compassion.